Hello and welcome. Today I'll be doing a 2020 presidential election prediction. But before we get started, please go and subscribe. We're currently at 342 subscribers. Let's hit 350 by the end of the month, so let's get started. There's currently 10 days left of the presidential race, and the final presidential debate happened last Thursday. I have predicted up showing the betting odds for the election, but before we look at that, we're going to fill in the safe states for Trump and Biden. We're going to go over Trump's safe states first: Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, Nebraska except the second, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Alaska, giving Trump 116 electoral votes, going over to Biden, California, Washington, Illinois, Hawaii, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, not Connecticut or New Jersey, those are going to be likelies, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New York, Maine's first, giving Biden 155 electoral votes, going back to Trump for likely states: Texas, South Carolina, and I would probably say Ohio. I think Trump will probably win Ohio about 6 points, a little under that maybe, 5.5 points. South Carolina is going to be between 8 and probably 8 to 12 point victory there. Texas probably a 6 to 7 point victory. In the betting odds, Trump has a 73% chance of winning, actually more like a 70% chance of winning. Before it was around a 55 to 45%, and it's jumped to 70+%, the highest in the last 3-month period. Joe Biden went from about a 45% down to a 30% chance of winning the state. That is not a good sign for him in Ohio, which I would say would go likely to Trump. He won the state by around a little over 8 points in the previous election. In polling in the previous election over sampled Democrats, only showing Trump leading by about 3, but it was a 5-point swing. In polling currently, it shows Trump's favored by around a point or two. If you were to have that 5-point swing, it would go by 7 points, but I think it's going to be a little bit more narrow than that, probably about 6 or a little under 6. Going over to Biden's likely states: Oregon, New Mexico, Colorado, Virginia, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maine at large, bringing Joe Biden's total to 212 electoral votes. Moving into now the toss-up states of Nevada, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, New Hampshire, and Maine second. These are all going to be in the lean or tilt column. We're going to go back to the election map. Come on. Okay, so we're going to first look at Georgia and Iowa first. In Iowa, Trump has had a huge swing back in his favor. It looked like it was getting close, with Biden having around a 40% chance of winning it. It's now dropped from a 40 down to a 35%, and still having Trump gaining more and more momentum, having another 5-point swing towards him in the net. The state's probably going to be going to Trump between 3 and 5 points. I don't see it dropping under 3 points. It could even go in the likely column, but I see it more in the lean, 3 to 4 points. Going into Georgia, this was another state that looked like it was going to be a lot closer. It is going to be closer than 2016, but the chances of winning the state went from around a 55% for Trump up to a 60% chance for Trump, and continuing to go in his way. Polling also shows about a tie there. I think it's going to go to Trump. I don't really see the state flipping just yet. In 2018, the governor race, it went to Brian Kemp by about 2.5 points. And that was a Democratic wave year. I see the state going to Trump probably by about 3 points or so, plus or minus 1 point. Moving into Maine second, I don't think it's on here. Let me see, actually. It probably is. Let's see, keywords. Electoral College, General. I don't know which one it would be under. Let's see if I could just find it really quick. Maine. Where's Maine second? Maine second. Here we go. Okay, so it's favored to Trump by about a 55% chance. It looked like Biden took the lead with having a 60% chance of winning it, and it dwindled down to about a 45%. And it shows Biden's up around 2% more, but to win the second congressional district in Maine, Biden would have to do a 10-point swing into his favor. I think that the second congressional district will be a lot more narrow, but I don't see Joe Biden picking it up. Trump will probably win it by 3 to 4 points. Trump's now at 204 electoral votes, going over to Joe Biden. We're going to go back to the map. We're going to look at Nevada first, giving Biden a 75% chance to win the state. I could agree with that. I don't see Trump really being able to win it. I don't think it's going to be a huge victory, but it'll probably be a 3 to 5 point victory there. A lot bigger margin by 2016. 2016 it was about a 2 to 3 point margin. Now I see it as a 3 to 5 point margin. Going over to New Hampshire, another similar case, about a 75% chance it will go to Joe Biden and a 25% chance it will go to Donald Trump. It hasn't seemed too much of a possibility that Trump will win the state. Even in polling, it shows him way down there by 10 points. I don't believe he's down by 10, but I don't think he's going to be in a close race there. It's probably going to go lean by 4 to 5 points to Joe Biden. Going into Michigan, the state has been getting closer. Joe Biden had around an 80% chance to win the state. It's dropped down to about a 65% chance, or about a little over that. And currently it's swung 6% today into Trump's favor. I see the state being probably a 2 to 3 point victory for Joe Biden there. I can see Trump possibly holding on to it, but out of the Midwest, I don't really see it as a viable win there. He probably has a lot higher of a chance to win Wisconsin or Pennsylvania, as well as Michigan being the closest in the election of 2016. Going into Minnesota, Trump has a 30% chance to Joe Biden's 70% chance of victory. At a point, it was about a 65% to a 35% chance. It narrowed down to about a 80% chance of Joe Biden winning it. It's narrowing slightly, but not enough to get the state to be competitive of being a very close state. It's going to be close, but I don't really see it having a chance to flipping to Trump. It could be an upset and it'll happen, but I don't really see it at this time. I see it going to Joe Biden probably 3 to 4 points. Now, that is all the lean states filled in, giving... Actually, I forgot the Nebraska's second. I would consider this currently lean to Joe Biden. Trump will be having a rally in Omaha, I think, Monday or Tuesday, which could help him get some of the of his base back over there. But at this time, I don't see Nebraska's second favoring Donald Trump. So now it's 204 for Trump, 249 for Joe Biden. Going into the tilt states now. We're going to start with Florida, which is swung heavily to Donald Trump, having about 2 rallies yesterday with over 10,000 people each, as well as a lot more ad spending, and the early vote and mail-in vote actually it's been favoring Democrats, but not as much as it needs to be. The Democrats only hold a 380,000 vote lead over registered Republicans in early voting and mail-in voting, which isn't a good sign with the election only 10 days away, with Republicans going to be coming out in droves on the election day to vote versus Democrats doing it more through mail and early voting. I see the state currently favoring Trump, probably getting closer to a 1% victory there. It's going to be narrower than 2016, in my opinion, but I still see the state definitely favoring Trump, with polling also getting closer there. Going into North Carolina, a state that is now trending back to Trump. It swung 9% to him today. Trump held a lead in late August, but then fell off and dropped all the way down to a 45% chance of winning the state. Now he's back up to a 55% chance. North Carolina is known for under-polling Republicans there. It was 3 points off in 2016. It was in 2014 with Tom Tillis to see it was a couple points off as well. I just see North Carolina not being able to, not flipping to Biden in this election. I don't really see too much momentum for him there. It's going to be a lot closer, but I don't really see him having the momentum to be able to do a more than 4-point swing. Moving on to Wisconsin, where Trump is currently having a rally there. It is swinging 3 points to Donald Trump's favor, and it went from about a 30%, or actually a 25% chance of Trump winning the state up to a 40% chance. That is a good sign for him. It shows that the race is tightening, and the betting odds I do trust more than polling, due to the fact that polling is usually a lot more, well, not, I wouldn't say biased, but I feel like the people getting polled, a lot of them in this partisan time, don't want to say who they will support. I don't think Joe Biden holds a 10-point lead in Wisconsin or an 8-point lead in Wisconsin. It's going to be a definite close race there. Donald Trump was able to flip the state in 2016. It was competitive in 2018 governor election, and it's going to be competitive again in 2020. I see the state currently favoring Biden very slightly, probably by a half a point to a point margin. Beforehand, I saw the state in the lead column, but it's now been getting closer. Moving on to Arizona, the state has been getting way, way closer. Biden had a 70% chance in early October and just dropped drastically down to a 50% chance and a 50% chance for Trump. Trump up from a 30% chance up to a 50% chance. It will continue. Polling getting closer. Amy Coney Barrett is very important in the election there, as well as the economy. COVID-19 is less of an issue in Arizona versus the economy and the combination with Amy Coney Barrett. I see the state going to Trump very narrowly there, bringing Trump's total to 259 and Biden's to 259, coming down to Pennsylvania, where tomorrow Donald Trump will be having 3 rallies there. Trump does have momentum there in the odds too, going from a 40% chance, dropping down to about a 25% chance of winning, and back up to a little over a 40% chance of winning again. I see the state trending towards Trump. It's going to be a coin flip in my opinion, but I do think Trump will be able to get the upset victory again, giving Trump 279 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 259. Thank you for watching. Please go like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.